Applause your hair for Aman. How many of you use a boat product? No wonder you're doing well.
I love you guys.
So,
कौन थे जिन्होंने हाथ नहीं खड़ा किया? उनसे उनसे क्वेश्चन भी पूछने को अलाउ मत करना सर.
see, this is passion. Aman, अभी भी CM हो आप?
हाँ सर.
क्यों यार?
सर मेरे को ना और कुछ अच्छा नहीं लगता. मेरे को ना मार्केटिंग सेल्स. Sorry guys, you know I've got a bad throat. It's the weekend effect. So sir, I don't like.
ऐसा क्या करते हो वीकेंड पे समझ नहीं आया? कोई बात नहीं यार.
दरियागंज जाता हूँ सर. But sir, coming back to the question, I like more of sales and marketing rather than these, running the company myself. So that's why we have hired a seasoned CEO, Vivek.
Mr. Gambhir.
Yeah, he's there.
Came from Godrej, took a break.
Yeah. So it's something which I like. You know, it's like we have a tagline also: "Do what floats your boat," and that's real because we should all do what we love doing, and I love sales and marketing, so I'm just doing that.
बोट तो बोट नहीं रहा, तो शिप बन गया है.
नहीं sir, speed boat.
अरे वाह, I like that. See, this is why Aman Gupta is Aman Gupta. Give him a big round of applause for bringing so much energy. Aman, you started in a pure D2C environment.
Yeah.
We had Rishi Vasudev sometime before you. Since the time you entered in last 6 years, and now, what are the broad changes that have happened? Give us a kind of a scenario that is now vis-a-vis when you started. What has changed? Especially your categories. I meet somebody every week who's launching a gadget product. हमें बोट जैसा बनना है.
Sir, let me go back and there's as I always say, D2C as a term also was non-existent when we started. And people from Delhi can understand D2C buses होती थी बस. उसके सिवाय कुछ नहीं होता था दिल्ली में. अभी फिर हमें ऑनलाइन ब्रांड बुलाते थे, फिर हमें डिजिटल ब्रांड बुलाते थे, और फिर पहले जब हमने स्टार्ट किया था ना तो लोग कहते थे ये 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ तो तुम बेच लेते हो, 10 नहीं कर पाओगे. 10 करते थे तो लोग कहते थे 100 नहीं कर पाओगे. 100 करते थे तो कहते थे यार 100 करोड़ तो चलो कर लिया, इससे ऊपर ऑनलाइन मार्केट बहुत छोटी है. तो फिर वो कहते थे तुम लोग अमेजॉन ब्रांड हो, फिर हमें कहते थे तुम लोग ऑनलाइन ब्रांड हो. तो नाम हमें बहुत नामों से बुलाया गया है लाइफ लॉन्ग. एंड market, online shopping market is still 10% of India. Just imagine.
Absolutely.
That, right? So we've now started focusing in last 1 year in offline. We've just hired a new offline sales head. So offline market itself, 90% of India is still untouched, right? And there's so many new things we can do. So D2C market is evolving. I wouldn't say so. I had a debate. There's a D2C group in which the debate was happening. Some people say that what is a D2C or what is D2C? So if I can ask, you guys have attended the whole session. If anybody can tell me exactly what D2C is, then it will be amazing. Why don't you guys take a try? Or somebody just tell me what does D2C mean as a word? Oh, yeah, but yes, that is also true. But D2C as a channel is just a channel, right? And it doesn't mean that direct to consumer also can be divided in 3 parts. Some people said Nirma was our first D2C brand because it was going factory to the consumer directly at one point of time, जब वो खुद market में लेके जाता था. कई brand होते हैं which were born on marketplaces, right? Like Boat is a brand which is born on Amazon, Flipkart. There are some brands which are born on their own website. That is also a pure play D2C player because they themselves start selling to the retailer. But if you look at today's market, how the evolution is happening, sir, to answer your question, even I saw an ad from HUL levers, and they were saying looking for a D2C head, right? So it's becoming one of those important channels which nobody can miss. So what is happening now, marketplace brands are going online or on their own website, or they are going offline. The own website brands are going marketplace or offline, and the offline brands are coming online. It's I think another 2-3 years, the word will also get extinct, and it will only, and it started changing. It's becoming omni-channel for the latest word. So I think there is a transition happening, and wherever you build a brand, doesn't matter, but all will converge into selling to the consumer.
Absolutely. So हमें D2C conference का नाम कुछ और रखना पड़ेगा 2-3 साल बाद.
Confirm.
Okay. But I was talking to Rishi and I asked him, and I know I don't know if he called you or not. I was on a flight from Mumbai to Chennai and I met a guy called Suresh Jumani. That's what I was doing, looking at his name. You opened a boat store in Chennai, right? He knows your co-founder more and I gave him your mobile number. When you open physical stores, don't you dial, while you've already said that what is D2C? It's omni-channel in simple terms. You build a brand and business. But the efficiencies, Rishi built a case for saying if you go physical, then the whole raison d'etre of being D2C gets defeated. What is your point of view?
I don't agree. Because, probably what they do at Goat Ventures is probably smaller brands. But to grow beyond a point, you cannot only rely on one channel, right? If you look at, and I say that, I've said that before, a shampoo keyword is more expensive than buying a shampoo today. Any category you go into is getting so expensive. It's getting more expensive to build your mark in one category, because it's, if you go to Zomato and all these food restaurants, it's becoming so difficult for them to advertise there, because it's about who can pay higher, right? Same in D2C. And पहले क्या था ना कि when there were some brands when they were starting off, including us, we had leverage of, there was a cat fight happening between Amazon and Flipkart, right? और cat fight में क्या होता है ना, both of them fight between each other, Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, और बहुत सारे players होते थे to create. तो क्या होता था, it was not as difficult. But if you look at today, if you ask me if I can build another boat today, it might be even more difficult to build a brand, because every other brand has gone so big in their own spaces. To fight us, you'll need to spend 10 times us, right? Because we've got the scale. But does that mean that the brands cannot be created? No, the answer is brands can definitely be created. There are niches which are coming up. There's a, if you look at my friend Wow Shampoos, right? They were also one of those big guys initially, or Mama Earth. They were very big in their categories. But now if you look at a brand called Mac Caffeine, right? M Caffeine. He's created a brand only in coffee-based products. So niches are emerging even in the
super
categories.
Niche within niches. So Aman, now let's specifically talk for a moment of the gadgets category. Right? What's happening in that category? Because I swear, I'm not saying I met 4 or 5 people in the last 6 months who said ki gadget, but see Boat has done, even if we do this much, I can take 2-3 names we'll do. So every week in some of our conference, I meet someone who's built 100 crore smartwatch brand, somebody's built, just headphones, somebody's doing some other accessories. So clearly the usage of accessories is growing. Is this category expanding?
So I'll tell you, when few years back when we were being born, people did not agree to that brands can be made in this category, because there were a lot of Indian brands in the electronic space which had died, right? You know all of them. So there was a very difficult.
मैं अच्छी brand खरीदता हूँ यार.
No, I've seen them at the conferences. तो वो बहुत सारे ब्रांड आते थे जो चले गए फिर इंडिया से, मोबाइल फोन मार्केट में, आप मतलब वो वाले ब्रांड, राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज देयर वाज नो कॉन्फिडेंस दैट इंडिया कैन मेक अ ब्रांड इन इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, एंड वी आर वेरी हैप्पी टू से दैट वी स्टार्टेड दैट वेव, and obviously boat hai, wave hai, so yeah, it's somewhere combined. So we started that wave of Indian brands can follow in a commoditized electronic market also. And you'll be surprised to know, sir, that now the top 5 brands in our space are from India. So I think the market is growing and there is room for everybody to grow. It's not just we are growing. And as you said, jaise, I did not focus on smartwatches, right? Because we were growing our audio brand so much. And there are some new brands which are doing decently well on the smartwatch segment. And the door was open, And that's where I say category creation on a small area, right? The door was open when we were entering. All the other brands were focusing on different things. We entered on, we focused on audio. We killed it there. Some brands, the door was open on the watches side. They entered there. So I'm not saying that, and that's a niche, right? As you rightly said, that's a niche. उसमें भी niches बन रही है. जैसे मैं आपको बताता हूँ, audio है, headphones में एक niche बन रही है, which is gaming headphones is also becoming a category by itself, and that will grow itself. So
Gaming is growing.
Gaming is growing. So, so I would say that there will be growth on all
new
categories.
product. Headphones for people who have less hair or no hair, how can they listen better? Two customers are here. Okay?
I think the problem is not about hearing there. Then I think there is the other problem is to have a better shampoo, probably.
ये shampoo की company में invest तो नहीं है. Anybody who owns a shampoo company, please go to Mr. Aman Gupta. He's going to invest in you. But on a serious note, again, there is another, D2C has a huge ecosystem. There are fintech players that are funding D2C players.
Yeah.
There are technology enablers that are enabling. There are digital marketing specialists who specialize. Arjun is there. There are many others who work with D2C brands. The businesses I met who take online brands offline. So the ecosystem is growing. Where do you see the ecosystem in the next 12 to 15 months? What are the trends over the next 12 to 15 months that are relevant to some of the founders here that you can see because of your scale or being a pioneer?
No, I totally, I like that question, and that is what is changing, sir. पहले क्या होता था ना? If you look at the big guys, if you look at Amazon or if you look at Flipkart or these big marketplaces, they had the systems, right? They had modular systems. They built over periods of time, right? Amazon has taken like so many years. They've built a system how you can track them better, how you can check out better, how you can do vernacular better. But now, and if you look at us as a D2C company, we cannot do that because we can't fight these marketplaces who've got better technology on all fronts. So these ecosystem players which are coming up with smaller tech, कि जैसे WhatsApp marketing करनी है तो एक उसके लिए specialized player आ गया है, Go Quick आ गया है, जैसे checkout cash conversion better करना है तो वो आ गया है, अगर आपको ओमनी कॉमर्स करना है तो शिप रॉकेट आपके लॉजिस्टिक्स में हेल्प करके आपका यूनिकॉमर्स के साथ आप पीछे से बैक एंड फ्लो कर दो तो वो फ्लो अच्छा आ जाएगा. ये इतनी अच्छी हो गई है सर बिकॉज दे ऑल्सो वर्क विद पीपल लाइक अस एंड as we are growing, as the country is growing, as people are shopping more online, people are understanding the problems of real India. ये कैश की प्रॉब्लम इंडिया की प्रॉब्लम है. जैसे अभी ये हर वर्ल्ड में नहीं है कि लोग कैश से खरीदते हैं. आज भी 50% ऑफ द परचेजेस इन इंडिया आर मेड फ्रॉम कैश. इट्स अ अननेसेसरी बट इट्स अ नोन डेविल, बट यू कैन नॉट इग्नोर इट. एंड GoQuick came out with that solution which addresses that problem. So there are a lot of these smaller players which will build us as one ecosystem, so that and we can leverage them together. I think it's beautiful what's happening.
And Aman, do you see some spaces available for some of the entrepreneurs to build some services or product? Give us one or two spaces that you feel are not adequately served in this ecosystem.
So there are, I will, when I go to Shark Tank, sometimes first year I went, I thought that there are not many companies, there will be VCs who must have taken a lot of companies. And I was pleasantly surprised to see the number of companies and the number of ideas which came. If you look at this season, the average valuation ask has been 100 crores. So the companies which have come are much better than last season. There are businesses which I never thought I will invest in. I've invested. One of them is this chicken curry suits, right? I never thought that I will invest in a suit company. And these guys are doing beautiful business, right? So there are so many new verticals, brands, businesses, which we don't know about. And 30% of the companies which come on Shark Tank are pure play D2C companies. एक ना oil company आई, and जो आता है Shark Tank में उनकी suddenly sales भी ना they just shoot up. So that shows that there is immense potential if you do branding right. All these companies just need somewhere to get awareness level going.
That's the role of media, okay? And I'm writing a column on the power of TV. My friends from ABP are there. You know, somebody said, oh, digital is so big, TV mar gaya. I gave them two examples. One is all the guys on the Shark Tank. Okay, TV's built them, right? I mean, already you built yourself, your hard work, your personality. But second, Big Boss. I met someone, she's on the Big Boss. She's a dentist, Saundarya Sharma. She was telling me that, you know, before and after Big Boss, she's now cutting ribbons and so on and so forth. She's making money and she's pursuing her dream. So TV and media of all kinds build brands. I want to reinforce. Aman Gupta said that. Now coming to my last two questions. Aman, what has changed for you?
कॉन्टेक्स्ट बिल्कुल अलग है.
नहीं यार, आपने बोला, मैं तो बता रहा हूँ.
नहीं,
मैं तो मीडिया वाला हूँ. मैं I'm just amplifying what you are saying.
You know, for me, sir, marketing wherever you get is a good marketing. My personal view is, I to wear my boat T-shirt when you had called me for the first award 6 years back. Nobody knew boat also. That young entrepreneur award you guys gave me. That time also, if you see the picture, I was wearing the same T-shirt. So I feel marketing you can do wherever you get space, wherever you get free awareness level. Go for it. अगर कोई सेलिब्रिटी आपका कहीं पे यूज़ कर ले आपका ब्रांड, तो आपको मार्केटिंग फ्री में मिल जाती है. तो आप मार्केटिंग जहाँ ऑप्शन हो, there's nothing known as bad marketing. It's
I agree with you.
Marketing.
Visibility for the brand. And Aman, I want to say that I know one of my team members came to me 4 or 5 days after you and said, Aman has said somewhere कि awards matter नहीं करते. Awards हमारे awards में आपने दोनों ऐसा jury member भी participate किया. ऐसा 6 साल पहले we don't sell awards. It's done through a jury process. There's a lot of ways we make money. We run a commercial organization. But we don't just exist to make money. We exist to discover. The role of a media company is to discover winners before they become big. I can tell you over our last 9-year journey, there are many. There are at least 30, 40 who's a big size, another 120 that we first awarded. So we were lucky. It's part of our journey. But Aman, coming back to D2C, do you think, you said beyond the point, if you need to grow, you need physical touch points, okay? Is that what you said broadly? And that's why omni-channel. How does a D2C founder or D2C brand owner, Karthik and Ashish, you want to come and speak here, build a 500 crore sales company, I'll invite you, okay? How does a founder know that this is the time to be able to now get into physical retail? Is there an inflection point? Is there a way to know? Because this is a question, if I was a D2C founder and sitting in the audience, I would be thinking about.
As a D2C founder, how do you go offline?
Yeah, कब अब मेरी 30 करोड़ की सेल हो गई, 100 करोड़ की हो गई. When is the right time?
Sir, see, offline is tough. Offline mein you'll have to, for us also, we entered offline when, we were doing offline, but we were not serious about offline few years back. Now, when we've done 2,000 crores, when we did 2,000 crores and we thought, let's take offline seriously. So I think the offline mein kya hota na, sir, because you have to build a fleet on the street, right? You've got distributor management, returns वगैरह का चक्कर होता है. फिर उसके बाद तो मेरे को तो ये लगता है कि जब ब्रांड बन जाए, जब आपके ब्रांड में पुल हो, राइट, आप कहीं भी बनाओ, ऑफलाइन बनाओ, ऑनलाइन बनाओ, अगर आपका ब्रांड बिकता है तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर खुद आएगा आपके पास, राइट. तो हमारे साथ भी यही हुआ था. हमारा जब ब्रांड बिकने लग गया था, अच्छा बिक रहा था, तो हमें इनकमिंग रिक्वेस्ट आती है, लाइक कि आपको हमें वी वांट टू सेल योर प्रोडक्ट. और जब इनकमिंग आती है ना, तो इट्स लाइक द पावर इज मच मोर देन व्हेन यू गो टू देम एंड टेल देम कि प्लीज़ मेरा. मैं आपको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ सर. जब मैं स्टार्ट कर रहा था, तब मैं क्लासिक केस स्टडी होती थी, तो खान मार्केट में मैं खुद जाता था और अपना माल बेचता था जाके कि मेरा माल ले लो, और कोई लेता नहीं था. तो फिर मैं अपनी मॉम को भेजा एक बार कि बोट है, तो वो कहते थे नहीं है. तो फिर अगले दिन मैंने अपनी वाइफ को भेजा उसी शॉप पे, ग्लोबल गैजेट्स करके शॉप थी. मैं अपनी वाइफ को भेजा कि उससे जाके ना बोट मांग. तो मेरी वाइफ ने मांगा, तो कहता नहीं है. तो उस मार्केट उस बंदे के दिमाग में चल गया कि बोट बहुत चल रहा है आजकल, राइट. तो उसको मिला नहीं कहीं
बच्चों को.
हाँ, तो फिर उसको मैंने फिर फ़ोन किया. मैंने बोला अब रखना, अब बताओ बोट चाहिए. तो उसने बोला हाँ. तो वो आर्टिफिशियल डिमांड क्रिएशन थी, बट दैट गेव मी अ वेरी ब्यूटीफुल लेसन इन माई लाइफ दैट बॉस बिल्ड अ ब्रांड फर्स्ट. if you've got a brand, now this guy messages me, I want to keep boat, right? And I used this line last week only on Shark Tank that every dog has his day, right? So now at least we don't have to give in to his requests कि वापस ले लूँगा, मैं माल अगर नहीं बिका तो ये करूँगा, इतना % मार्जिन दो, ये रिटर्न्स दो, ये कैश पे कंसाइनमेंट पे माल रखो, मतलब कुछ नहीं कर रहा, लेना है ले, नहीं लेना बाहर में जा. तो at least it's a, so I would say, to answer the question, if your brand is powerful enough, then go wherever you can, channel, go all channels, whether it's, अभी मैं आपको सिंपल बताता हूँ सर, एक ब्रांड मिला मेरे को, वो पता है कहाँ पे बना है? क्रेड पे. क्रेड के स्टोर पे. नाउ डिस्कवरेबिलिटी इन क्रेड हैज बिकम easiest, right? People are using Cred as a discovery platform. There are a lot of brands which are saying कि I saw you first on Cred, right? So Cred is becoming a discoverable platform. उससे वो brand थोड़ा push शुरू हो रहा है and eventually अब वो brand वहाँ बन के कहीं और जा रहा है. So there are so many discovery platforms one can use, sir.
Thank you, Aman, for saying when you think your brand pull is good enough and that will sell the products you put in physical stores, that's when you go physical. And I'm sure your gut feel and numbers both can come together to help you make that decision. Aman, in your journey as an entrepreneur, I met you, and I must say 3-4 years back, I don't know, on Diwali you sent me, your team sent me headphones, and I don't use headphones at all. Nothing to do with shampoo or other things on my hair, but I gave it to my daughter and she said, yeah, I have it. It's a very, so I asked them, there are a lot, gifts come. I asked my children, do you want them? And they are like, they're very Tony, New York, and they have choice. And they said, both, yes, Papa, we want that. So they clearly have, your brand has a pull. I told you that 3 years back that my children use your brand and they bought it on their own. And when you send what has changed about Aman Gupta in your entrepreneur journey in the last 3 years? I won't go into last 7-8 years. What Aman Gupta 3 years back and Aman Gupta now?
बहुत चेंजेस आए हैं. मतलब
एक तो आप टोपी लगाने लगे हो
सर. नहीं, टोपी तो सर मैं वैसे ही बहुत टाइम से पहन रहा हूँ आजकल, फील आती है. मैं आपको बताता हूँ सर, 3 साल पहले छोड़ो सर, मैं आपको 2 साल पहले तक लेके चलता हूँ, ठीक है? 2 साल पहले तक मेरे पास पैसे नहीं थे, ठीक है? मतलब माई वाइफ वॉज वर्किंग फॉर अ कंपनी एंड आई डिड नॉट हैव मनी एंड आई हैव सेड इट मेनी टाइम्स बिफोर. So I sold 10% of my company last year to Warburg Pincus in the secondary sale, and I became rich, not super rich, but decently rich. Then last year, that is Jan 2021.
Last to last year.
Last to last year. So then second, ek wish thi ki I wanted to be famous, right, for the right reasons, and Shark Tank helped me do that, right. Then I have, I had a wish that I wanted to see the football World Cup, FIFA. I did that also last year. I wanted to see Wimbledon final, which I did. I could, and it's an expensive ticket to buy. I did that. I have a couple of things which are.
What's
still
your
pending.
bucket list? I was gonna go there. बता दो, एक दो चीजें बता दो सारी.
हाँ, अब तो वही कह रहा हूँ सर. तो ये अभी ये 3-4 चीजें तो मेरे लाइफ में अभी 2 साल में ही हुई हैं. So there are a lot of changes.
I remember I met you for lunch and you're shifting from your Hoskas home to
Gurgaon.
To a Tony place in Gurgaon. Yeah, I know where, but
So-
I don't want people to show up at your home. That's why I'm not telling. It's a Tony place.
So अभी क्या pending है मेरे को? There are a couple of people I have to meet. I have to meet.
दो के नाम बता.
मेरे को 3 ही बता देता हूँ. मेरे को बिजनेस वर्ल्ड में मेरे को जेफ बेजोस से मिलना है. When I'm very inspired by how he's built Amazon as a global company.
Absolutely.
I want to meet Modi ji as the Prime Minister, and I want to learn from him also. I want to meet Shah Rukh Khan as the entertainer. These are 3 people I have to meet right now. So yeah.
Fantastic. My last question, I'll take 1 or 2. If you had to give advice to budding intrapreneurs or entrepreneurs to be successful, whether you work in a company or you work as an entrepreneur, what is the success secret that you profess people should have?
सर मैं ना ज़्यादा ज्ञान बांटता नहीं हूँ.
हाँ, मैंने सुना है ये बात.
और मैं अपनी स्टोरी बताता हूँ और some people just take some points from there. But what has worked for me is it's some people call it a negative word, but I love hustling, and I feel people who hustle can get things done faster. I'm not saying that I'm not provocating, and I'm not asking you guys to work.
And how do you define hustling?
I don't.
For those people who don't
So I don't
want a deeper input.
I don't care if you work 18 hours a day or 14 hours a day. I don't preach that. I myself don't work more than 8 hours a day. I sleep for 10 hours a day. I love my sleep, but for me every day is a Sunday and every day is a Monday. I'm passionate about boat, and boat is like my baby. I just I just do whatever it takes to win wherever I am, and I'm in it to win it, whether it's market share or whether it's a deal on Shark Tank. It's the competitive me. I'm very passionate about what I do, but I'm very paranoid about what others can do, because we came, we saw, we conquered, and somebody else can come see and conquer. So I'm very careful about about tracking competition at all levels also. So that's my world, and if people can get some, people want to take them, it's their views.
And how do you define hustle? थोड़ा इसको हिंदी में बताओ.
जब हम कॉलेज जाते थे ना, तो हमारे इंटरव्यू में ना क्वेश्चन पूछते थे लोग, अपने स्ट्रेंथ और वीकनेस बताओ.
Maybe I worked for 5 years before I started exchange from India. So मैं बोलता था Catherine Zeta zones is my weakness. Maybe people used to ask ना आपकी weakness क्या है, तो मैं बोलता था Catherine Zeta zones.
वीकनेस और स्ट्रेंथ दोनों कोई मेरे से पूछता था, तो मैं बोलता था इम्पेशेंस, राइट. इम्पेशेंस इज माई स्ट्रेंथ ऑल्सो, बिकॉज इट ड्राइव्स मी हार्ड to do things, and that is also a weakness, because sometimes I run too fast that I sometimes fall, because in life you can't also be impatient in doing things, right? So that is where hustle world is also used in the same context today, that you hustle your word through. मतलब हिंदी में बोलो तो impatience या आपको जैसे बोलते हैं आग लगानी हो, आपको किसी इंडस्ट्री में फोड़ना हो, तो या आपको अपने काम में फोड़ना हो, अगर आज किसी कंपनी में भी काम कर रहे हैं, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स यू टॉकिंग अबाउट, इफ यू डोंट डू इट, देयर आर अदर्स हु आर डूइंग इट, राइट. If you don't follow it, then somebody else in your company is following it. If you don't do well in your industry, then somebody else will come and do it. So you have to fight it out. It's a
You have to be
competitive world.
paranoid. You have to take all chances. You have to be all in. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, और अगर हिंदी में से कंक्लूड करूँ तो मैं सिंपल बोलूँगा, हसल करो भसड़ नहीं, राइट.
क्या बात है. Please give Aman Gupta a big round of applause. You know, Aman, the best thing, those people who work with me, I'm very impatient, and I'm getting increasingly impatient. But one best thing you said is about sleep. Savita ji asked me sometimes, and tell her I'll wake up whenever I wake up, and I sleep at 10:30, 11. I wake up by 7:30, 8. I sleep 9 to 10 hours every night. People ask me, where does my high energy come from? It comes from quality of sleep. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs give up on sleep. When you sleep better, you'll make better decisions. You'll have better relationships. You'll eat better. You'll be mindful. You'll be fully in conversations. You'll so invested in your sleep. And while I like you to buy boat accessories and keep your phone away when you sleep, I keep my phone. Only some days when I wake up in the night and I respond to texts, but more. But Aman Gupta is there. Let's take 2-3 questions for Aman. Any questions from Aman?
What do you think, being a entrepreneur, how much a policy and the mindset of the government helps an entrepreneur to build its company big?
So is there a role for policy to be a catalyst in an entrepreneur's journey?
So many years I have seen businesses, my business, as I said, a lot of businesses I've done, 4-5 businesses. It's not like the first business I'm doing. I have never seen any government working closely with the startup founders. I went for an event. It was, Modi ji's birthday, and there was this pura hall bhara hua tha, right? And I see, the first row, second row was all ministers and politicians. उसके पीछे सारे entrepreneurs, startup founders बैठे हुए थे. I was so relieved feeling that एक टाइम आता था, you know, if you go to any conference, first row में ना सारे वो कोट वाले, you know, बैठे होते थे. There was used to be like a fixed set of people in this country who used to be sitting there. Times are changed, bro. There are a lot of founders now. If you know, last week I was at a conference with Piyush ji was there, and he knew startup founders right, left, and center. Tomorrow, you know, ये रितेश अग्रवाल, that ओयो his उनकी शादी है, उसमें मोदी जी
Tomorrow
भी,
नहीं है, 7 तारीख को.
7 तारीख को नेक्स्ट वीक, उसमें मोदी जी भी,
मंगलवार को.
मोदी जी का भी सीन आने का. तो आपने कभी सुना था कि गवर्नमेंट इज टॉकिंग डायरेक्टली टू द फाउंडर्स, स्टार्टअप्स, दैट स्टार्टअप डे, स्टैंड अप इंडिया इनिशिएटिव पहले सुना था? आज से 5 साल पहले से बता दो, आपने कभी सुना था कि स्टार्टअप के बारे में कि इतना प्रमोशन हो रहा है स्टार्टअप्स के बारे में? नहीं होता था. स्टार्टअप वर्ल्ड स्टार्टअप डे वाज सेलिब्रेटेड इन इंडिया, राइट? दैट इज आल्सो एन इनिशिएटिव ऑफ द करंट गवर्नमेंट. सो आई एम सेइंग there is government is ready to talk to you. You tell them and they are ready to help you there. It's a pro business government, and I think that is the reason why shows like startup, Shark Tank, startup, everywhere you go there is a. आज की डेट में आप किसी कॉफ़ी शॉप चले जाओ, आपको पता है कॉफ़ी, पहले तो यू नो गेम चल रहे होते थे, यू नो लोग डिक्शनरी खेल रहे होते थे. आजकल हर टेबल पे मैं बैठा होता हूँ, ये नहीं कि मैं ज़्यादा सुनने की कोशिश करता हूँ, बट सुनने में आ जाता है that they are all talking about startups. You go to any place, you go to any marriage, people are talking about founding a company or doing something different. So it's a revolution happening, and government is working very closely with founders. There's so many things which are happening. So if you guys are, you know, I'm sure you are still working with policy. There's so many people here. Government, they are ready to help you, is what I would say. If they are, and they are talking to us also in that. So I never thought we would make in India. It was not required. But now government itself is encouraging making in India. They're giving duty benefits. There are PLI schemes for electronic segment. And so ये सब कहाँ से आया? Policy से तो आया. So I think there's no better time to go to the government and ask for any help you want.
Just to build on Aman, I keep saying this. When the Prime Minister of the country gets on stage and says it's okay to fail, it's good to be an entrepreneur, you're changing the mindset of the society, you're changing the mindset of parents, you know. So the impact of which and the success of which you may see immediately, but it will happen a decade from now when you created this army of entrepreneurs. And you know, Randy Pausch said something, you know, there's nothing called failure. You know, India has not produced big companies in product domain, in lots of industries, because we're afraid to fail. And there's nothing called failure. Randy Pausch said experience is what you get when you don't get what you want. Everything is an experience. So we'll take 1 or 2 more questions. Raise your hand and short question. Yes, the lady there. Sakshi. Sakshi is a startup. You know, she does marketing and some go-to market and stuff like that.
I am Sakshi, and I am a professional marketer as well as I am a budding entrepreneur. So my question for you here is basically I learnt about your Floativerse concert, which is, by the way, the first K-pop concert in India, which is on Metaverse. So I want to know your key takeaways from it, and you know how brands are changing towards their perspective towards marketing on Metaverse and introduction to Web 3.0.
So what do you think of Metaverse? Is it a real phenomena? Why should we be worried about Metaverse or leverage it? And you can, you know, Shankalp is 27, she's 24. Only young people asking. 23, okay. 2, okay. Every minute you're getting younger, okay.
You know, मेरा मार्केटिंग का व्यू है कि मार्केटिंग ना चेंज होती रहती है, राइट? इट इज नथिंग कांस्टेंट, नॉट इवन मार्केटिंग, राइट? सो इफ यू लुक एट फेसबुक एज अ कंपनी, that it changed its name from Facebook to Meta, right? There must be something happening there. Second, I feel that you need to keep experimenting, whether it's artificial reality, whether it's AI, VR, or whether it's metaverse. You need to keep doing. Whether metaverse is going to be the future, I don't know. But if it becomes a future, then we have to be ready. Did we do something about it? Yes. Was it like the best thing ever? No. But did we try it out? Yeah. But agar aaj metaverse becomes the big thing, everybody will go for it. But we'll be ready with it because we know how to do it and what were the learnings from that one concert we did, right? Are we doing more concerts? Yes. So my way of marketing is to keep trying new things. I don't know which one will succeed. When we were doing celebrity endorsements, right? There was to be लोग कहते थे कि एक celebrity रखो काफ़ी है. तो हमने एक नहीं रखा, हमने 10 या 12 सेलिब्रिटी अपने साथ एंडोर्समेंट करी. तो लोग मुझे कहते थे पागल आदमी है, 12 एंडोर्समेंट का क्या जरूरत है, एक ही काफ़ी है. फिर क्या हुआ, वो स्नैपडील और वो आमिर खान का कांड हुआ था ना, वो एक बीच में है ना, जिसमें स्नैपडील के शेयर्स भी गिर गए थे और उनके साथ भी अरुण को ना बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है जब मैं किसी कंपनी का नाम ले लेता हूँ. एक कंपनी थी ना एक ई कॉमर्स में जिसका एक एम्बेसडर था. ये पीआर वाले ना सिखा के भेजते हैं ये सब, ये हर इवेंट में आता है कि ये सब नहीं बोलना. आज मुझे घर जाके लेक्चर, ये मेरे को लेक्चर नोट्स भेजेगा. समटाइम्स इट्स बैड टू बी टू ऑनेस्ट, राइट? So there was a company in e-commerce world which had a brand, and then that negative happened in that company, right? Which makes it so confusing for me to make you understand what I'm saying. But the fact is that people called us crazy. That why इतने सारे ब्रांड एम्बेसडर का क्या करोगे? और अगर आज देखोगे ना सारी कंपनीज किसी भी इंडस्ट्री में वो भी ऐसे ही काम करते हैं. बिकॉज इंडिया में क्या है ना, मतलब चलो वो बाद में बात करेंगे. तो मार्केटिंग इज एवर चेंजिंग. Consumers are ever changing. If I'm still in the world where I think only Facebook sells, suppose, imagine I'm 5 years ago, only Facebook was the platform to sell. But then Insta came up. And if today you're not on Insta, you're losing out on a lot of audience because the lot of audience is now no longer on Facebook, right? But does that mean Facebook is dead? No. Because there are a lot of audience still on Facebook. I keep advising my portfolio companies also. Boss, Facebook में अच्छा traffic आता है, अच्छा ROI आता है. Don't forget that also. Because just because you are on Insta, you're not there on Facebook, right? Snapchat is evolving into a new. आज कोई भी मेरे साथ selfie लेने आता है, पता है Snapchat के filter से लेता है. There is something about that filter. So I'm saying Snapchat might become the next big thing. So you have to be there also. So be where your consumer is what I would say. And if the
I would add on, I read this article 3 months back. I don't remember it exactly. Well, it said inside Mark Zuckerberg's $70 billion bet. And he's not bet 70 billion, but with the stock price falling by 50 billion and the 10 plus billion he's bet. So in that there was a comment by Eric Schmidt, the executive chairman of Google. He said, I would never bet against Mark because we may not see what he's seeing like he saw what he saw. So, one thing about startups is you don't even know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. So हमें वो ये भी नहीं पता कि हमें क्या पता नहीं है. So in future what will work, what will not work, किसको क्या पता है. Last question before we wrap up.
Thanks. This is Maniraj from Amitoj, India. Aman, one most important critical insight that got you here that your competitors could not get throughout your journey.
A lot of things which I feel worked in our favor. I can't point one. If you want to say one, then it is me. They did not have Aman. But not being pompous there, I would say there are a lot of things. I think as a team, Sameer and I worked very well because, as I said, I run very fast. Sometimes I fall down because of that, and Sameer balances that out. Right, he's the more structured guy in our company. He's as a co-founder team, we work well. It's like a yin and yang, right? Where he does something which I don't, and I don't do something which he does. So you got to have a good team, which we had. Second, I would say the timing was good. That when we were entering, we there was an online revolution also happening in India, and while the older brands were focusing on the offline consumer, we started focusing on the online consumer. And then I would say third part is, I would say our products were amazing because they were made for India. Not made in India at that time, but they were made for India. Because India क्या है ना, बहुत different type के products चाहिए होता है. Durability. हमारे को क्या चाहिए कि हमें Mercedes और Audi वाली quality चाहिए. और प्राइस चाहिए मारुति वाला, you know what I mean? So India is a very value driven country. It's not the cheapest, you know, even the cheapest car in the world didn't sell in India, right? They had to close it down. Now I'm not using the name. So so India mein, it's an aspirational country. So we build our brand on aspiration and yet kept it affordable. So I would say and touchwood, consumers and boat heads as we call them, consumers were kind enough to choose us, is what I would say.
You know, this last question to this boy, and we'll wrap up.
Hello, very good afternoon. So myself, Manas Jha, from AMS Legal Tech co-founded. So before 3 years, when I am 12th, so मैंने एक कंपनी बनाई थी checkit.com. So उसमें क्या करते थे, we hired a checker from a 12th standard and check a copy for various institute and we फंडेड, मतलब कि विद इन 2 मंथ के अंदर 1 लाख की टर्नओवर हो गई इस कंपनी की. और उसके बाद लॉकडाउन हो गया, हमने उसको फिनिश कर दी क्योंकि जो भी मेरे फाउंडेड टीम थे वो उठ गए. उसके बाद भी आई गॉट अ डिप्रेशंस. मेरी क्वेश्चन इज डैट कि जब कोई भी स्टार्ट करते हुए एंड टाइम इज डैट व्हेन होल्ड ऑन द कंपनी, सो व्हाट इज स्ट्रेटजी कि 1 मंथ 2 मंथ के टारगेट बनाते हैं और उसको अचीव नहीं कर पाते, और उसको आपकी भी सर इंटरप्रेन्योर जर्नी में आपके अप एंड डाउन आए होंगे, तो उसको मतलब कि कैसे मेंटेन करो, कैसे बैलेंस किया सर आपने?
जी मान, एक आज की दुनिया में जो शार्क टैंक एंटरप्रेन्योर नहीं देख रहा ना, मैं तो कहता हूँ कि वो बिग बॉस देख रहा होगा क्या. बट मैं आपको बताता हूँ मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ. मैं बताता हूँ मैं क्यों बोल रहा हूँ. वैसे एक ना बहुत अच्छी डील आई थी, 2-3 डील्स इस सीजन में बहुत अच्छी लगी मुझे. एक नॉट नेसेसरी दैट पीपल हु गेट फंडिंग इज अ गुड डील. देयर आर पीपल, लुक एट अ डील कॉल्ड स्टेज करके आई है. यू गाइज हैव सीन इट? हाँ तो सही है, फिर लोग देख रहे हैं. तो स्टेज बहुत अच्छी डील है, उससे बहुत सीखने को मिला है, राइट? उसमें आप देखोगे कैसा फाउंडर था, उसकी रातों रात 40 करोड़ की कंपनी बंद हो गई, और फिर उसने स्टार्ट करा और फिर 300 करोड़ की कंपनी बना दी 1 साल में. और उन फाउंडर से इंस्पिरेशन मिलती है कि बॉस आप यू कैन बी डाउन बट यू कैन कम आउट स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड यू कैन डू इट वेल. आपको एक और स्टोरी है फ्लैट हेड्स करके, ठीक है? वो उसकी इतनी अच्छी स्टोरी है. IIT IIM का बंदा है, ठीक है? अच्छा पढ़ाई करी हुई है, सब सही है, और नहीं चला बिजनेस. जरूरी नहीं है कि बिजनेस सबके चले, मतलब फेलियर रेट ज़्यादा होता है. बट जो आपने बोला ना, जैसे आपने बोला आप डिप्रेस हो गए, आपको पता है कितनी बड़ी बात है पब्लिक में. पहले तो लोग इंडिया में कोई बोल भी नहीं सकता था कि मैं डिप्रेस्ड हूँ. ये पहले तो बोलना छोड़ो, लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता था कि वो डिप्रेस्ड हैं आधी से ज़्यादा. तो मैं कह रहा हूँ कि आपने जो सीखा, जो आपने आज जो वर्ड भी बोले, उससे आप उभर के निकल सकते हो, राइट? आज नहीं तो कल आप जहाँ भी जाओगे ना, क्योंकि आपने इतने लोज देख लिए हैं ना कि अब आपको सीधा क्या होता है ना, वो एक पिक्चर है जब भी मेट, पिक्चर देखते हो वो भी नहीं देखते. चलो बहुत बढ़िया.
एंड मैगजीन्स
या देखा, मार्केटिंग जहाँ मिले कर लो, राइट? चाहे टीवी की बात हो वहाँ आ जाते, मैं प्रिंट की आता हूँ वहाँ जाते. तो चलो पिक्चर भी नहीं देखते. तो जब भी मैट करके एक मूवी है, ठीक है? मेरे को बहुत अच्छी लगती है वो मूवी. उसमें ना एक टाइम आता है जब वो भी डिप्रेस होता है, आदित्य शाहिद कपूर, और वो छोड़ चुका होता है और वो सुसाइड करने वाला होता है, और फिर वो वापस आता है, फिर उसे गीत मिलती है. मैं आपको स्टोरी से बता रहा हूँ. फिर वो वापस आता है, फिर वो एक कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाता है, उसकी कंपनी की कॉन्फ्रेंस होती है जिसमें वो एक ना लॉन्च करता है गीत कार्ड. उसमें वो बोलता है, बॉस हमारी फटी हुई है, शेयर प्राइस डाउन है, स्टेक होल्डर हमारे पीछे पड़े हैं, कॉम्पिटिटर जीते जा रहा है, लेकिन अब जो होगा अच्छा होगा. तो आपके साथ जब इतना कुछ हो चुका होगा ना, तो जो होगा ना वो अच्छा ही होगा.
I just want to add, I don't have hair, I have not been on Shark Tank, so on and so forth. But I do meet a fair bit of entrepreneur. मैं आपको 2 बातें बोलता हूँ. पहली बात तो एफर्ट मारते रहो. बहुत सिंपल सी बात बोल रहा हूँ. आप ये इससे जो भी कुछ तो सीखा ही होगा, ठीक है? कुछ और बनाओ. दूसरा है ना, I am a Hindu, I am a liberal Hindu, whatever, in this environment. I go to a mosque also, I go to a church. But prarabdh, which means predestined, which means whatever you need to achieve in life is already decided up there. whatever religion you follow. So don't be afraid. डरो मत कि फेल हो गए. जैसे मैंने बोला एक लर्निंग है वो, उससे सीखो और लगे रहो. If you are in the play, God will send you ideas. God will send you people. God will send you funding. But you have to make efforts. एक ही बात कहूँगा मेरे को, एफर्ट मारने का है. बिना एफर्ट मारे तो कुछ नहीं होता बॉस. पॉटी भी नहीं आती. आती है आपको मॉर्निंग में? Right? You get my point now what I'm saying. Okay. Right? So please give Mr. Aman Gupta a big round of applause. He's inspiring a generation of entrepreneurs. And he's very authentic and he's very real. He says what he believes in. And God bless him and may he continue to build Bolt. Savita, you want to give him a role? You want to do a movie on his life? Savita made Khosla Khosla. She made Jhund.
जब वो लास्ट का सीन था ना, जब वो बोलता है ये बात हमारे बीच में रहनी चाहिए.
हिंदी में कोई बात हिंदुस्तान में जिसको बोलोगे वो तो 200 लोगों को बता देगा.
वो चौरंजी लाल, हाँ बता दो.
So finally give Aman up. We have a set of awards and as I said in the morning, whether it's a Shark Tank, whether it's a BW Disrupt or other media platforms, every media company should do well. Today you're lucky to have startup investors, angel investors, startup clubs, incubators, accelerators. So you're lucky you're born at a time. So don't worry about failure. Keep making the efforts. The latest issue of Business World is a D2C special. You have Aman Gupta and his co-founder on the cover. You have Darpan Sanghvi of Good Glam. You have Kamaljeet Singh who's invested. And you have India's top D2C companies, brands, businesses in that. It's a very good issue. You love reading it. Buy copies of it. It will be on stands from tomorrow. So you can buy on Wednesday. Go and buy in any city. Normally it is on Monday, but we didn't want to release it today. It will be on stands from tomorrow. Also, I want to take this opportunity. I said in the morning, Aman, as you rightly said, beyond the point, you need physical touch points. You're in a position you can do your own stores. Your bargaining power with modern trade and general trade is good. But for brands that are in their early stage of journey, and even for brands, we are doing a huge consumer-focused 2-day D2C festival, 27, 28, 26, 27, 28 at Aero City. We'll take 60 brands to exhibit from various businesses, and we'll do it as an annual thing. It's called the D2C festival. So brands that don't get physical touch, and we'll bring a humongous amount of footfalls through multimedia, our platforms beyond. So participate in that. There is also an AV. We have our awards now. Awards are through a process. The winners of the awards are outstanding. Again, some are obvious winners. They are very big. Some are on their way to be very big and are visibly on their way. But we've also selected some companies that we feel are on the right track from the quality of what they do, from their numbers, and not necessarily funding. Funding is a means to an end. It's not an end by itself. So really, revenue is what matters. Profitable revenue is what matters. And right mentorship. In India, founders now value, I feel. I have been meeting founders for 20 years. Mentorship. So get a right mentor, whether it's an Aman Gupta or a Sagar Deryani or a Rishi Vasudev or whoever you want to get. And they will guide you, inspire you. I know the time is always under pressure of entrepreneurs, family life, personal pursuits, and work. And entrepreneurs are all about work. They think of work all the time. So if you need any help, we will in April launch a formal mentorship programs where we'll bring successful founders to be able to mentor cohorts totally out of no commercial reason, but our way to give back to this community. Again, give Aman Gupta a big round of applause and God bless him.
Thank you, Anurag ji.